Welcome to Green Biz Studio. My name is Dylan Siegler, and I'm Vice President and Senior Analyst Sustainability here at Green Biz Group. I am excited to have with me Carrie Hughes, Director of Social Innovation at Verizon. Carrie, welcome.
Hi, Dylan. Thanks so much for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Carrie, in your role, you are working to position innovation at the core of Verizon's social strategy. Why does Verizon put social innovation at the center of its approach to address major societal issues?
So that's a great question. And before I get into the details of how we leverage social innovation, I think it's important to set the context of why that makes sense and why it's so effective for us. So at Verizon, everything we do is driven by our responsible business plan, which is called Citizen Verizon. And that plan is about leveraging technology to drive economic, environmental, and social advancement and really make the world a better place. So that mission sort of drives everything we do. And within that mission, we have a few beliefs that we adhere to. One is that, as a tech company, we feel that we not only have an opportunity to do this work, but an obligation. But we know that we can't do it all alone. And so really the core of everything we do is driven by partnerships. We find like-minded partners who have similar strategies, and we come together to really be able to drive the scale that we want to drive with these programs. The other belief that we have is that even with this great collective impact, you can't solve for everything in the world. So we have just a few focus areas within Citizen Verizon, one of which is digital inclusion, which really is just about leveraging, what we do as a company to drive social impact. The other is climate protection. And why do we have a focus on climate protection? Well, it's really because every company should have a focus on climate protection. Not only how, you manage your footprint as a company, but how you can then, help others to mitigate the impacts of climate change. So, within this construct and these beliefs, we then have a very focused way of driving social change, societal change through this process of social innovation. And the bottom line is what that is just putting the technology in the hands of individuals, companies, startups, nonprofits that do this work on the ground in these communities and know how to then leverage that technology to address the issues that are impacting them.
It's notable that initiatives like the Verizon Climate Resilience Prize seem designed to mobilize innovators outside of Verizon's four walls. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yes. So, as I mentioned, we have a focus on climate protection, and within that focus area, we obviously, have our own company goal to have net zero carbon emissions from our operations by 2035. But through this vision of Citizen Verizon, we want to do much more than that. We want to look outward. And that's why we have a focus on climate equity and being able to provide communities with the tools that they need to be able to mitigate the adverse effects of climate change in their local places where they live and work. And part of that is really being able to give people the tools to prepare for climate events, which is really the basis of our work in climate resilience. So I'm really excited to announce that, that we launched our inaugural Climate Resilience Prize last year. We will give $500,000 to 3 organizations that focus on reducing climate change impacts in vulnerable communities, specifically within 3 areas: next-gen technologies, frontline community-led solutions, and nature-based solutions. So I'm happy to say, as part of this prize, we got 135 applications, which was great news for us. It was really hard to go through them all, but we did so, and we selected 3 winners. which I announced on stage at the GreenBiz 2022 conference in February. And I'm just so proud to represent Verizon in this work, our partners like GreenBiz, and all of the wonderful organizations that participated in this prize.
Thanks for walking us through that. What advice do you have for other advocates in business who might want to incorporate social innovation into their sustainability and social responsibility strategies?
The advice that I would give is that corporate sustainability and social innovation is not a one-size-fits-all. And what's very important is to make sure that it's implemented in a way that's authentic for your company. You know, what are your company's assets? Where do you do business? What do your employees care about? And really just make sure that you stay true to that core as a company as you do this work. And then also the other piece of advice that I would get is, as I mentioned earlier, no one company can do it alone. So just make sure you leverage partners, find partners that can help you deliver this mission, and then that will help really move the needle and drive the scale that's needed to address these societal issues, including climate resilience.
Thank you so much, Carrie, and thanks for joining us today. Thanks everyone for watching this episode of GreenBiz Studio. I hope you'll join us again in the future.